There we go. Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome to our dramatic, all-ages Good Friday liturgy. I am so glad that you are here with us this morning to join in as we tell the story of Holy Week in drama, in liturgy, in movement, and in music. For those who are here for the first time with us, welcome. For those who have come here before, welcome. This is participatory liturgy. I want you to get into the scenes as much as possible, feel the emotions, and join in with the responses with dramatic emphasis and flair. Towards the tail end of the service, there's going to be a bit of side to side. So, for those on this side of the congregation, you are on the choir side. For those on this side of the congregation, you are on the ramp side. So when we get towards the tail end of the bulletin, you're going to notice that there's a lot of back and forth between those sides of the congregation. And during that, follow those instructions. Ramp side, choir side. We'll be receiving the Eucharist this morning from pre-consecrated elements during the second scene. Please come and line up at that time along the front steps of the chancel, and the communion ministers will bring you the elements at that time if you wish to receive. Also, we will be offering our prayers together as people. On the way in, you hopefully passed by a set of prayer cards, pieces of paper like this with an instruction and an invitation to write your prayers on them. At the appropriate time, we'll invite you to come forward and to place them in a cauldron so that those prayers can be offered up today in prayer and also be offered as part of our new fire that we light tomorrow night at our Easter Vigil. With that, welcome to Jerusalem. Welcome to the upper room. Welcome to Pilate's chambers, and welcome to Golgotha.
When Jesus drew near to Bethphage and Bethany, at the mount that is called Olivet, he sent ahead 2 of his disciples, saying, "Go into the village opposite. There you will find a colt tied, on which no one has ever yet sat. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you untying it?' you shall say, 'The Lord has need of it.'" So those who were sent away found it as he had told them. And as they were untying the colt, its owners said to them, "Why are you untying the colt?" And they said,
"The Lord has need of it."
And they brought it to Jesus, and throwing their garments on the colt, they set Jesus upon it. And as he rode along, they spread their garments on the road. As he was now drawing near, at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and to praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, singing, Some of the Pharisees in the multitude cried to him,
"Teacher, rebuke your disciples. They're calling you the Christ. Tell them to shut up."
He answered, "I tell you, if these were silent, the very stones themselves would cry out." And when he drew near and saw the sea, he wept over it, saying, "Would that even today you knew the things that make for peace, but now they are hid from your eyes. O Jerusalem, the days shall come upon you when your enemies will cast up a bank about you and surround you, and hem you in on every side, and dash you to the ground, you and your children within you. And they will not leave one stone upon another in you, because you did not know that time of your visitation." Now, the feast of the unleavened bread drew near, which is called Passover, and the temple priests were seeking how to put Jesus to death, for they feared the people.
Then Satan entered into Judas called Iscariot, who was of the number of the 12. He went away and conferred with the temple priests and officers how he might betray him to them. And they were glad and engaged to give him money. So he agreed and sought an opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of the multitude.
Then came the day of the unleavened bread, on which the Passover lamb had to be sacrificed. So Jesus sent Peter and John, saying, "Go and prepare the Passover for us, that we might eat it." They said to him,
"But where, Lord? Where will you have us prepare it? And what are we to do?"
He said to them, "Behold, when you have entered the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into the house which he enters, and tell the householder, 'The teacher says to you, where is the guest room, where I am to eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he will show you a large upper furnished room. There, make ready." And they went and found it as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. And when the hour came, he sat at table, and the apostles with him. And he said to them, "I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I shall not eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God." He took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he said, "Take this and divide it amongst yourselves. For I tell you that from now on I shall not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom comes." And he took the bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, "This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." And likewise the cup after supper, saying, This cup which is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood.
One bread, one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing which we pass, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. Gentile or Jew, servant or free, woman or man, no more. One bread, one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing which we pass, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Many the gifts, many the works, one in the Lord of all. One bread, one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing which we bless, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. Grain for the fields, scattered and grown, gathered to one for all. One bread, one body, one Lord of all. One cup of blessing
But behold, the hand of him who betrays me is with me on the table. For the Son of Man goes as has been determined, but woe to that man by whom he is betrayed. And they began to question.
Who, Lord? Who is to betray you? Is it I? Is it I?
He answered, He who has dipped his hand in the dish will betray me. Oh, it would have been better for that man if he had not been born. Judas, who betrayed him, said,
Is it I, Master?
Jesus said to him, You have said so. Simon Peter was indignant.
But not I. Though they shall fall away from you, I will not leave you.
Peter, truly I say to you, this very night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him,
Even if I must die with you, I will never deny you.
So said all the disciples over and over again.
And he came out and went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. And when he came to the place, he said to them, Pray that you may not enter temptation.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, and knelt down and prayed, Father, if thou art willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Your will be done. Your will be done.
And when he rose from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping from sorrow. And he said to them, "Why do you sleep? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation."
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, even the evil within ourselves.
While he was still speaking, there came a crowd, and the man called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He drew near to Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus said to him, "Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss?" Judas said,
Hail, Master.
When the disciples saw what would follow, they said,
And one of them struck the slave of the high priest and cut off his right ear.
But Jesus said, "No more of this." He touched the ear and healed him.
Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us.
Jesus said to those who had come out against him, "When I was with you day after day in the temple, you did not lay hands on me. But this is your hour and the power of darkness." Then they seized him. Then they seized him and led him away, bringing him to the high priest's house. Peter followed at a distance. When they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter sat among them. Then a maid, seeing him sit in the light, said,
This man also was with him.
But he denied, saying,
Woman, I do not know him.
And a little later someone else saw him and said,
You also are one of them.
But Peter said,
Man, I am not.
An hour later he insisted, saying,
Certainly this man also was with him, for he is a Galilean.
But Peter said,
Man, I do not know what you are saying.
and immediately, while he was speaking, the cock crowed. And the Lord turned and looked at Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him, Before the cock crows today, you will deny me 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly. Now the men who were holding Jesus mocked him and beat him. They blindfolded him and demanded,
Who is it that struck you?
And they spoke many words against him, reviling him. When the day came, the assembly of the elders of the people gathered together and led him to their council. And they said, But he said to them, If I tell you, you will not believe, and if I ask you now, you will not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man shall be seated at the right hand of the power of God. And the people said, Are you the Son of God? And he said to them, You say that I am. And they said, Blasphemy! What further testimony do we need? We have heard ourselves from his own lips. Blasphemy! Oh, blasphemy! Then the whole company of them arose, and they brought him before Pontius Pilate. And they began to curse him, saying, And Pilate said to him,
Are you the king of the Jews?
And he answered, You have said so. And Pilate said to the chief priests and the multitudes,
I find no crime in this man.
But they were urgent, saying, And when Pilate heard that he was Galilean, of Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, where he was vehemently accused and treated with contempt and mocked, and arrayed in gorgeous purple, and then sent back again. Pilate said to the rulers of the people,
You brought me this man as one who is perverting the people, and after examining him, behold, I did not find him guilty of any of the charges against him. Behold, nothing deserving death has been done by him. Therefore, I will chastise him and release him.
But they all cried out together,
Away with this man! Away! Away! Release to us
Barabbas, a man who had been thrown into prison for insurrection and for murder. Pilate addressed the crowd once more, desiring to release Jesus, but they shouted out,
Why? What evil has he done? I found no crime in him deserving death. I'll chastise him. I'll release him.
But they were urgent, demanding with loud cries that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed. So Pilate gave sentence that their demand should be granted. He released the man who had been jailed for murder, but Jesus he delivered up to their will. But Jesus he delivered over to their will.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, Tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? And as they led him away, they seized one Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, and laid on him the cross to carry it behind Jesus.
But Jesus, turning to them, said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming when they will say, 'Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed.' For if they do this when the wood is green, what will happen when it dries?" 2 others also, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. And when they came to the place which is called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right and one on the left.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree?
And Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do."
And they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people
One of the criminals who was hanged with him railed at him, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us."
But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence and we justly? But this man has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom."
And Jesus said to him, "Truly, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." It was now the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sun's light failed. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." And having said this, he breathed his last. And all the multitudes who had assembled to see the sight, when they saw what had taken place, returned home, beating their breasts.
So, do you know what time of day it is now in the story? It's in the evening, that's right, yes. And when it was evening, a friend of Jesus called Joseph of Arimathea went to Pilate, and he asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. So Pilate sent a soldier to see if Jesus was dead. And when he found that he was, Pilate gave permission to Joseph to take the body down. So Joseph of Arimathea went to take the body of Jesus down from the cross. And there was another secret friend of Jesus called Nicodemus. And Nicodemus was the man that Jesus had gone to see late at night. Nicodemus brought spices, and Joseph brought a linen shroud to wrap the body of Jesus. And so they did that and took the body of Jesus to a tomb hewn out of a rock. So what we have here is, first of all, what do you think this is? What do you think? Yeah, that's right. This is a linen cloth. And so this is the linen cloth that will wrap the body of Jesus. And would somebody like to carry this for us? Somebody could carry? Excellent. Thank you, Hunter. And this is a smaller cloth that they would have used to wrap the head of a person who had died. Somebody carry this for us? Can you do that? Thank you. And these are, anybody know what these might be? Yes, Colin?
Spices.
That's right, they're spices. And does anybody know what kind of spices they are? What do you think? Want to have a sniff? Yeah. Any idea what they might be? Yes?
One is myrrh, isn't it?
Absolutely. This one here is myrrh. Yes, okay. Who would like to carry the myrrh? Can you do that? Okay, excellent. Thank you. And what do you think this one is here? Anybody any ideas? That's right. Would you like to carry the cinnamon for us? Thank you. All right. And this one is a little difficult. Anybody got an idea what this might be? No. Okay, this is This is anise, star anise. Anybody like to carry this? Will you do that? All right. Very good. And then the very last thing we have is an icon. And this will be for us, the body of Jesus. Somebody like to carry this for us? Colin? Okay. Right. Maybe you can help with it when we get to the front with the spices. Thank you. So we're going to take these things and take them to the tomb and bury the body of Jesus. So I would like the people with the cloths to follow me, and then Colin, and then last the spices. Okay, and we'll all go to the front. Could we take this out of the way here? We'll just move this aside. There we go. Right, thank you. So Hunter, could you put the cloth just down here and unfold it? Just wait a minute. Right. Here we go. That's probably fine. Okay, now if you could put the smaller cloth in the middle, that's right. Just right there. That's good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. And Colin, if you could place the body on the small cloth. Thank you. Right, and then everybody can just kind of gather around, and we'll kneel down. That's right. And so Joseph and Nicodemus would have placed the body on a linen shroud and washed it probably, and then would have placed spices around to preserve the body. So what we're going to do is just take a few spices, just a few, and put them in with the body, and then pass it over to the next person, okay? So we'll just do that and pass it around. Just throw them in there, that's right. That's fine. Yep, that's good. Here we are. Here we go. You could do some spices. Yes. So then they would have wrapped the body up, which is what we'll do now. Just take those spices off the cloth. There we go. Can I have some help just to wrap? That's right. There we go. Thank you. That's right. Thank
Thank you. Then they would have taken the body and placed it in a tomb that had been carved out of the rock in a garden. So that's what we'll do now. They came outside the tomb and rolled a big stone in front of the tomb. And then they knelt down and said a prayer, which we will just do now. And Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, were also watching to see where Jesus had been laid. So they were all feeling very sad as they said goodbye to their friend Jesus. So we'll keep a moment of silence. We will think of our friend Jesus, and we can also remember anybody else that we know who may be feeling very sad because they've lost somebody that they have loved. And after they had said their prayers, they got up and went to their homes.
On the Sabbath, they rested according to the commandments.